Yo, what's going on, guys? It's DFS Hart, and today I'm breaking down the 10-game NBA slate that we have on February 3rd. Before we get into that, I just want to say welcome to my channel. My name is Hart. I make daily NBA, NFL, and PGA slate breakdowns on Draftkings, where I'll be going over the best plays of the day and give you some building blocks and core plays that you can put into your lineups. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as it really helps out my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. And also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for everything DFS. You can follow me. I'll be tilting about plays like Fred VanVleet, who, when I played him Sunday, 19 fantasy points. And then today, or yesterday, he went off for a career day, historical three-point shooting night. I think he got basically 80 fantasy points. But yeah, you guys can follow me here for anything DFS, injury-related, any pivots. I'll be answering any questions, so make sure to definitely check that out. And now let's get into it today. Big 10 gamer should be fun. I'm really liking the balance build today, so we can get into that more in a second. We got the Pacers Bucks 8-point spread, 233 over under. I'm kind of surprised by this, that the Pacers are 8-point dogs. They're a pretty good team, and the Bucks haven't been that great this year, so that's pretty interesting to see. 76ers Charlotte Hornets 7-point spread, 223 over under. Mavs Hawks 1.5 spread, 222 over under. Wizards Heat 8.5 spread, 228 over under. Rockets Thunder 7-point spread, 222 over under. Knicks Bulls 2-point spread, 216 over under. Wolves Spurs 8.5 spread, 224 over under. Clippers Cavs 7.5-point spread, 219 over under. Suns Pelicans 3.5-point spread, 222.5. And Celtics Kings 2.5-point spread, 227.5 over under. And before I get into it, I just want to announce that I think I'll be coming out with a PGA slate breakdown for the Waste Management tournament that starts tomorrow. I think I'll be doing a breakdown. If not, I'll have some core plays on my Twitter, so make sure to check that out. And then tomorrow, I should be putting up an early look at the showdown slate for the Super Bowl for the NFL. So stay tuned for that, guys. Now let's get into it. Philadelphia, Charlotte, we got Joel Embiid at the top, 10K, in a great spot against Charlotte. He played him earlier in the season, and I don't think he had a great scoring or rebounding output, but he still managed to get you there. Oh, it doesn't go back. Does it? No. It doesn't go back far enough, but he did it. I think he got like 44 and 45 in the two earlier games against them, but perfect spot for Joel, 10K. His price tag is a little bit up there, but, I mean, you know what you're going to get. No one on Charlotte can guard him, so he's in a great spot. Ben Simmons, 8-2, with this team healthy now. You can definitely take a shot on him. I don't think I'd do it. Tobias Harris, no, not with everyone healthy and back. Seth Curry is the guy you could take a shot on besides Joel at the top. He's 4'6". As we saw at the beginning of the season, he's a good shooter. Can get you some rebounds and assists. It's just he's coming back from being out for COVID for like 2 weeks, so he's just been struggling to get a shot in any peripherals, but I do think he'll come back, so he's definitely worth, looking at, maybe taking a shot on. And that does it for me on the Philly side. Just Joe and Seth. For the Charlotte side, Gordon Hayward at 7-2. He's always in play, especially at this price, just because of how many minutes he's getting. He's getting about 40 minutes a game. His usage has been up and down, as you can see by his fantasy points output. I mean, he shot 8-14 last game, 10-22. So, I mean, he's shooting the ball a good amount. It's just sometimes he defers the offense to the other guards. But it's not the best matchup against Philly, but I do like him in this spot at 7-2. Pretty good play today. LaMelo Ball, we have to keep an eye out on Terry Rozier. If Rozier's out, definitely look to LaMelo Ball again at 7K. I don't think I'm going to go there. I don't know why. I just don't like playing LaMelo Ball, even though he has like triple-double upside every game. He's one of those players. He'll probably play about 30, maybe 35 if he's not in foul trouble like he was last game. He lost probably 5 minutes of that game to foul trouble. So if Rozier's out, definitely probably lock in LaMelo Ball at 7K. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but that's definitely a smart move. Devontae Graham, not for me. I'd rather go to LaMelo Ball or Hayward. Rozier, if he's back for some reason, it's definitely a downgrade to LaMelo. He'll probably be coming off the bench again. And then at 7K, if he's coming off the bench, that's just not for me. I'd rather play Gordon Hayward. Zeller, I mean, he's firmly in play. He's at 5'8". He's been doing great since he came back. 37-24, 37-44. He's getting huge minutes, about 35 a game right now. I just don't know if I can trust it again going against Joe. I just feel like, centers who try to guard Joel Embiid usually end up in foul trouble. So, I mean, you could definitely take a shot on Cody. I don't think I am. PJ Washington's out, so we got to keep an eye out on who will start. I'm thinking it'll be Miles Bridges at 4'6". He's not the best shooter, but he can definitely get you there with some points and rebounds. So he'd be, firmly in play if he starts. And then Malik Monk went off last game. Had, I think, a career day. It's most he's ever scored. Played 40 minutes, shot 11 of 18, 48 fantasy points. If Rozier's out, Monk will come off the bench and definitely get at least 20 to 25 minutes. He's a pretty good shooter, so at 4K, it's not a bad price tag. People might chase it again, so he might have a higher ownership, but you can definitely look to him. So my favorite plays on this side would be Gordon Hayward. It all depends on Terry Rozier. If Rozier's out, LaMelo Ball at the top, then Gordon Hayward, and then you can look to guys like Bridges and Monk. If Rozier's in, I just look to Gordon Hayward, maybe taking a shot on Zeller, and then you can play one of Monk or Bridges. Indiana, Milwaukee. As I mentioned, if you guys watch my video or my core plays, they did really good. Russ, he was probably the best play of the day. His chalky 9-1. He got 50 fantasy points, I believe, triple-double. Sabonis got 63 and didn't even play run in the fourth. There's like a 20-point blowout, so they didn't even give him a run. But he already had 63 at the end of the third, which is huge. Here's my thumbnail. And then Kawhi went off for 60. So, I also put Bertans in that core, so hopefully you guys didn't play him. But if you did, that's unfortunate. He just is not shooting well right now. But the other three guys got you 50, 16, 63. So your lineup would have been off to a great start if you used my cores. So definitely stay tuned for my cores for today. But Sabonis, once again, his price came down even more. He's 8-3. Last game he was 8-7. The matchup is a little bit harder. He's going to have to be going against Giannis, but I just don't know how you get away from Sabonis at 8-3, even with Giannis guarding him. I think he's firmly in play. Brogdon, 8-1. I think he's firmly in play as well. He's got a revenge game narrative. He's getting about 40 a game in the past 5 games or more. So I do like Brogdon at 8-1. LeVert's still out. Miles Turner, just one of those guys you can always take a shot on. He does need to get you a bunch of blocks to have that huge output, and he did last game against Memphis. But yeah, he's if you land on him, that's fine. I don't know if I directly look to him. Lamb, 5'7", his price is creeping up, but he is a good shooter. Can get you those peripherals, as I mentioned. Got you 33 fantasy points last game, so I think he's in play at 5'7". And that does it for me for this team. I think, Sabonis at 8-3, it's going to be a hard price tag to get away from, even though he's going against Giannis in Milwaukee. Brogdon is firmly in play at 8-1 in this revenge game narrative. And then you could take a shot on guys like Lamb and Turner. I'd be fine with that. They're more of secondary plays, though, for me. On the Milwaukee side, we got Giannis at the top. 11K. Firmly in play. I just don't know if I'm going to look to him today. I kind of like the balance build right now. So I don't think Giannis is in play for me. But for you guys and everyone else, you can definitely play him. I think his price tag is the most expensive out of everyone on the slate, but he's always in play. Middleton, Holiday, they're more secondary plays. It's a decent matchup against the Pacers, but their price tags are kind of expensive, and I don't know if you have to do it. There's better plays in that price range. Brook Lopez, you can take a shot. He'll probably get a good amount of run just because of Indiana's big, so he'll probably get around 30 minutes a game. He'd be, a secondary look for me. I don't know if I'd do it. And if you think this game blows out, kind of like what Vegas thinks, it'll be at least 8-point win for the Bucks. You can look to a guy like Bobby. He'll play 20 to 25 depending on if it's a blowout or not. And, he has huge upside, so if you bank on the Bucks blowing out teams, you're always going to want to take a shot on Bobby Portis. But I don't think you get to do it. I just don't really like the Bucks today, in my opinion. But they're all fine if you land on them. They'll be all low owned, so they'll definitely be contrarian if you want to go that way. Dallas, I do like Dallas. Luka has struggled to get 50 fantasy points since his big 86-point game. I mean, it's a great spot for him against Atlanta. They suck defensively, so I think Luka is definitely worth playing today at 10-8. Porzingis, I really like Porzingis in the spot as well at 7-5. He's going to play about 35 minutes, maybe a little bit more. He has the ability to 20 and 10 easily, so I do really like him in this spot against the Hawks. And then you can look to a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith or Richardson. They're both going to get, 30 to 35 minutes. They're not high usage guys. Richardson had a good game last game. He shot the ball amazing. I don't think you can expect that again, so it's just really Luka and Porzingis at the top for me on the Dallas side. For Atlanta, you got Trae Young at 9.5. His price tag is, stayed the same. He's averaged like 50 over the past 8 games. So in this, matchup, definitely worth looking at. Pretty good play today. Clint Capella, 8.8. You can play him. Not for me. His price tag's up there. He's been playing well this season, but I don't think I'm going to do it with Clint. I'd rather play a guy for a little bit cheaper like Porzingis, who has, relatively the same upside. Not as consistent, but he can definitely get you a high ceiling. John Collins, 7.2. Just not for me, especially with everyone healthy. Even though Hunter is out, Collins is bringing a little bit more run, but I think the guy I look to is Cam Reddish, 4.6. He's been playing bad the past 2 games, but he is getting you those minutes. He's getting at least 30 minutes, if not a few more. I can see him getting 35 in an extended run. And, he has the ability to pay off his salary easily. He can get you, 30 plus fantasy points. So at 4.6 in this matchup, I do like Cam Reddish a good amount. That does it for me on the Atlanta side. New York versus Chicago. Julius Randle. As I said, you want to target Chicago. They're bad defensively, especially with the bigs. 39 minutes, 50 fantasy points. I expect the same thing from Julius again. Maybe even more fantasy points. So I do think Randle is one of the best plays of the day at 9.1. Barrett, you can look to him at 6.4. The Bulls are bad. He didn't play great last game, but he does have that ability to get you 30, 40 plus if he's doing really well. And 6.4, it's definitely worth a shot. Quickly, he's been a beast this year. I really like him. His minutes are not guaranteed, as you can see. It's kind of up and down, but he does have huge ability. He's got 37, 36, 34. Good scorer. Good at passing the ball, getting some assists. Good at rebounding. I do really like him again at 5.5 against the Bulls. He's going to be really popular, and his ownership's probably going to be like 25% at least, but I think it's a great spot to go off again at 5.5. And then you can take a shot on a guy like Alec Burks, 4.7. Depending on Austin Rivers news. If Austin Rivers is out, Burks is probably going to get at least 25 to 30 minutes. The Bulls aren't great defensively, as I keep saying. He has the ability to get you 30 plus if he's shooting well, so it's not a bad spot for Burks. But Julius Randle and Quickly are definitely both firmly in play. On the Chicago side, Zach LaVine, his price has come down 8.5. I think he'll be a decent low-owned GPP play. Going to play at least 35 minutes a game. Has, 50, 60 plus fantasy point upside. So I do like Zach as a low-owned play today. Laurie has been playing well. He's gotten 30 points, real-life points the past 2 games. But only 42 fantasy points. As I said, he doesn't get many peripheral stats like rebounds, assists, or blocks, or steals. So he's kind of a scoring-dependent big. I want to go there. Kobe White, I do like at 6.1. He's low-owned. Not a lot of people are on the Kobe White train right now because he's just been inconsistent. But I do like him. His minutes are creeping back up. He's trying to get, at least 35 in a close game. He has the ability to score the ball well. He can get you assists. So I do think it's a nice buy low opportunity on Kobe White at 6.1, even though this is a slow-paced game. And Thad Young at 5.9 is firmly in play. Probably play about 30 minutes a game. Has triple-double upside, which is really weird for Thad Young, but he has, 43, 41, 39. You could definitely run it back with him at 5'9". So I think he's firmly in play. That does it for me. Clippers versus Cleveland. There is a blowout risk for this game. You got Kawhi Leonard at the top, 9K. Had a great game yesterday. He was in my core. 59 fantasy points. This game, it's just, I like Kawhi and Paul George at the top. Everyone else is kind of out of play for me, especially if Pat Beverly comes out or comes back. That takes away from Lou Williams, more of the guards, Reggie Jackson. So I really only look to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George if you want to get contrarian. They'll be very low owned. People are going to expect this game to blow out. So it's not really the best game to target. Drummond at 8-4, questionable. If he plays, I don't think I'm going to get there at 8-4. I'd rather play get pieces from other games. I don't really like this game. Sexton, you can definitely play him at 6-9, but it's a little bit risky. Jared Allen, I think he'd be a decent play at 6'5" if Drummond's out again. He'll probably play at least 30, if not 35 minutes. As we saw last game, he has huge upside. It's not the best matchup, and I don't think he's going to get 5 blocks again, but 6'5" is not a bad price for a 35-minute center who's decent at rebounding and putbacks. And the last guy I mentioned is, Darius Garland at 5'9". Had a great game last game. I told you buy low. His minutes are creeping up. He's a good shooter, can get you assists, and we saw it last game. He got that double-double. So his prices stayed the same. It's not the best matchup. It's just, you can take a shot on these guys if you want. Prince and Seti, they're viable value options again. Their prices come up, but this game is just really not for me. I'd rather target other areas. Washington, Miami. Brad Beal at the top, 9.7. We will have to keep an eye out on this because Russ, I don't think he's played any back-to-backs this year, and they just played yesterday. And he played 33 minutes. So either he'll be out or he'll be limited minutes-wise. So Brad Beal firmly in play at 9.7 if Russ is out. If Russ is in, you can still look to Brad Beal, but he's not as viable. Hachimura had a good game yesterday, 5'4". He'll play about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. I don't know if he had to chase. It's just kind of, He's like a third option, secondary play if you want to get there, but not for me. You can take a shot on Bertans again. He is a good shooter. He's just been playing terrible. So he'll be extremely low owned. His price is not the best. But you can get 30-plus upside if he's hitting his shots, but I don't think you have to do that. And then if Russ is out, you're going to want to look to a guy like Ish Smith. Going to play about 25 if Russ is out, probably 30 minutes at least. He's pretty good at scoring the ball. Can get you assists, some rebounds. So I do like him at 4.8 if Russ is out. He'll be a good value play today. That does it for me on the Washington side. Miami, these guys are all in play. I'm assuming Hero and Dragic will both play today, so the team will be, fully healthy. Everyone's kind of priced about right. Jimmy Butler has gone off the past 2 games since coming back. 50. All these prices just seem about right for me. So if you want to target them or play someone from this game, on the Miami side, I'd say look to a guy like Dragic or Butler, just because I think their floors are safer and they have a pretty high ceiling. But that really does it for me. If you land on one of these guys, that's fine. Everyone's kind of priced about right. I'd just take a shot on Dragic or Butler if everyone's in. And let's get on to the last 4 games for today. We got Houston, OKC. This will probably be the chalk game of today because you have John Wall out. So Wood at the top, 8-6. I think he's firmly in play. He's been averaging like a double-double, 23 and 10. Against OKC, no one's really going to be able to guard him. So I do really like Christian Wood a good amount today. It's not the best price for him, but I think he's a firm play. Oladipo, probably one of the chalkiest guys on the slate, 7-8. With John Wall out, we saw he's going to play about 35, close to 40 minutes, have a ton of usage. He's a good scorer, rebounder, assist. So one of the best plays of the day is Victor Oladipo. Eric Gordon also becomes a really good play today at 5-4. Excuse me. He's a little bit scoring dependent, but he'll probably get you 25 to 30 minutes, maybe a few more with Wall out. I think he might even start. We'll have to see for that. But even off the bench, I do like him at 5-4. He's going to come out and shoot. You just got to hope he gets you some peripherals with some rebounds and assists. But I think it's a good matchup and a good spot for him today. So the starting five will probably be Wood, Oladipo, Gordon, Jayshawn Tate, 4-7. You can definitely take a shot on him if you want. Probably play about 25 minutes. He's decent at getting you all the peripherals and some scoring. I don't know if you can trust that, but you can definitely go there. And that kind of does it for me. It's just more of, Wood, Oladipo, and Gordon. They're going to have all the usage. And then you can take a shot on a secondary guy like Jayshawn Tate. On the OKC side, SGA is out. That's huge news. Horford, even though his price is down, he's going to get a little bit more usage with SGA out. I don't trust it. He's not getting, as I mentioned, he's getting 30 minutes or less a game. I think this game might have blowout potential. I think, Houston might just blow this team out. So I don't know if I trust Horford's minutes. You can take, shots on guys like Basley at 5-2. Good price, good GPP play because he's so up and down, inconsistent, but he's had to shoot more with SGA out. Hamidou Diallo and Lou Dort and Maledon are going to be the chalk value plays of today. Maledon, 4-3, going to be the starting point guard. Going to play probably at least 35 minutes today. He's an okay shooter, can get you some rebounds and assists, so if you're looking for the value and the chalk value today, it's going to be this OKC side with Maledon, Dort, and Diallo. So they're all firmly in play. My favorite play would definitely be Maledon and then Diallo. Dort will probably be the lowest owned, but he will shoot a ton and play a ton of minutes, so they're all firmly in play. And then I guess you could take a shot on a guy like Isaiah Roby. If Horford's doing bad, if this game blows out, he'll probably get you the 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more. We'll have to see. Just keep an eye out for the news today on this side. Minnesota, San Antonio. Towns is still out. D'Lo's questionable. If D'Lo's in, he looks like to be a great spot, 6-8. I know there's a little bit blowout risk with the 8-point spread, but it's his lowest price of the season, 6-8 for D'Lo. I think is a great spot. Really like it. If D'Lo's out for some reason, you can definitely look to Malik Beasley. He'd be in a great spot, 6-4. Gonna get you, 30 plus minutes, probably 30 plus fantasy points in this matchup against the Spurs. And then you could look to a guy like Anthony Edwards, taking a shot on him. He's been playing a little bit better the past 2 weeks. Ricky Rubio, if D'Lo's out. And then you can take a dart throw on McLaughlin if Rubio's out. Or not Rubio, if D'Lo's out. But I'm assuming D'Lo's in, so the best plays on the side are D'Lo and Malik Beasley. And then you can take a shot on a guy like Anthony Edwards. On the San Antonio side, we have DeMar DeRozan at the top, 6'9". As I say every slate, with San Antonio, you just never know where it's going to come from. DeMar, 30 minutes, 30 fantasy points. DeJounte Murray, I think he played 24 minutes, 18 fantasy points. The game did blow out, but 24 minutes, 18 fantasy points, usually the most consistent on the team. Keldon Johnson was the one to have the huge game at 6'1", 31 minutes, 48 fantasy points. He's the only one to get blowout run out of the starting five, out of those older guys. But, LaMarcus is out, so Podol will probably be a chalk center play today, which is fine, 4-6. He's a decent point per minute guy. Probably play 25, closer to 30. They might give a little bit more run to a guy like Rudy Gay, or they'll look to guys like Trey Lyles at 3K. They do like to play him when LaMarcus is out. He'll probably get, 15 to 25 depending on if he gets extended. He's not the best point per minute guy, but he's definitely worth taking a dart throw GPP shot on at 3K. But yeah, it's so hard predicting the minutes and who's going to play well for this team. Derek White played 21 minutes, shot 2 of 10. I do think you could definitely take a shot on him. He's getting at least 20 minutes a game, maybe a little bit more now with LaMarcus out. They'll probably maybe go small ball against Minnesota because Minnesota's not big. So you can see Derek White getting extended a little bit. He's a pretty good shooter, can get you some assists. So I do think you'll start to see him work his way back, maybe into the starting rotation, if not become the sixth man and play at least 30 minutes a game. But right now he's just more of a GPP play. And as I always say, DeMar and DeJounte are the top two players on his team. Their prices are down. It's that risk of just getting popped. You don't know if they're going to play well. They might get pulled. This game might blow out. So who knows? I do really like DeMar and DeJounte. Pahoto's good value today. And then you can take a shot on a guy like Derek White. Phoenix, New Orleans. We have Chris Paul, 8-3. I think Brookler, even though it says he's questionable, keep an eye out on that. I think he'll play, so no one's really in play for me on this side. Maybe you could take a shot at a guy like DeAndre Ayton at 7-4. Good matchup, playing about 35 minutes game. I'd say that'd be my favorite play on this side. No one else really sticks out to me. These wings, you could definitely take a shot on one of the wings. Jay Crowder's been having the good amount of games right now, but Bridges could be in play if you wanted to. But DeAndre Ayton's my favorite play on this side. But other than that, I really don't have any interest. Brandon Ingram at the top, 8-1. As I mentioned, he's a higher ceiling than Zion, but he's just inconsistent and has a lower floor and has been hitting that floor most of the season. But you can take a shot on him. Zion, as I always say, he's got that 38 to 45 fantasy point range. He's been in there basically every game. I don't know if you're playing GPPs, don't play Zion. He's the best cash game play you can play. But in GPPs, it's just 8K for a guy who's going to get you 38 to 45. I don't know if that's the best play. I don't think it's the most optimal. And then you can take a shot on one of the guards. I always say Lonzo Ball's the better play, the better person to take a shot on. He's not a great shooter, but he can get you there with the peripherals. If Steven Adams is out, you can look to a guy like Hayes or Hernan Gomez again. Hayes had foul trouble, so he lost a ton of run, and Hernan Gomez was doing pretty well. He got a double-double, 13-11. So it's to keep an eye out. Maybe let's go with Hernan Gomez as starting over Hayes this time, but I think Steven Adams might be back. If he's back, he's definitely going to play at 5-4. He'll probably play 30 to 35 minutes to guard Ayton, so he's in a decent spot. I don't really like anyone on the New Orleans side. And then the late night hammer, Boston, Sacramento. This should be a pretty high-scoring game, good game. Tatum and Brown are firmly in play. I think I'd rather get to Brown now with this 1K price difference. Kemba's still on a minutes limit. He had a good game yesterday against Golden State, but I don't think we have to go there yet just with his minutes limit. You can take a shot on a guy like these at 4-8. Going to play about, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. He's an okay point per minute guy. That really does it for me on this side. It's just, Tatum and Brown at the top, and then take a shot on a guy like these. Sacramento side, De'Aaron Fox played well last game. As I mentioned, he's usually a lock for 40 to 45 fantasy points, but he had a ceiling game again, 63 fantasy points, went off. The price is not the best, but it is a good matchup for him. So you can definitely land on Fox. It wouldn't be the worst play. He'll be low owned again just because of his price. People are going to look elsewhere. Buddy Hield is in play. He's been playing, decent. Getting you 30 plus over the past 5 games. So if you land on him, that's fine. It's just not for me at that price. Holmes at 6-4. I do like. His minutes have been coming up again. I know, what's his name? Marcus Bagley got ejected, so more minutes, went to Holmes in those power forward centers, but he's going to play about 35 minutes, hopefully. And he is a good point per minute guy. He's got that double-double, upside. He did randomly get 6 blocks, which is something that's happened 3 times this season so far. He'll either get 0 or 1 blocks, or he'll go off for 6. That was 12 points, so he would have gotten you like 32. I just think he's a GPP play at 6'4", just because of the minutes upside, and he can usually get you some points and rebounds. Harrison Barnes played really well last game. If you want to take a shot on Harrison Barnes, that's fine with me. He's playing close to 40 minutes a game, which is huge. He has that upside, so at 6'3", it's not the best, having to go against Jason Tatum, but he's firmly in play. Marcus Bagley, you can take a shot on him. 5K or 5.5K. It's just his minutes are up down. He did get ejected, so he lost minutes there, but he's playing like 25 to 35, depending if he's playing well. So he's a good GPP play. Either he's going to get you, 45 points, or he's going to get you 20 and destroy your lineup. And then Halliburton. I think it's going to be a chalk Halliburton quickly. Slate for me again today. 5'4". He's playing about 30 minutes a game. He's got that low-end triple-double upside. Didn't shoot the ball well last game, but he is playing minutes, which you like to see. Has, upside into the high 30s, maybe in 40s. So at 5'4", I do like him in the spot a good amount. And that does it for me on this side. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell as it really helps me out. And I'll give you guys a little core to end it. I think I'm going to run it back with Halliburton. Do really like him. And then I think you're going to want to get one of the guys from the OKC side. We'll go with Maladin just because of the huge minutes he'll play. And then, let's see. Let's just go to all. Take that off of Houston. Come on. Load. There we go. As I mentioned, I do really like the balanced approach today. There's a lot of great plays into the 7. The high 6 to 8K range. So I think if you want to jam as much of those guys in as you can, that's fine with me. I think that's the route I'm going to go. I think it's hard to pass up Randall at 9-1 against the Bulls. As I mentioned, he's got a pretty high floor of like at least 40 to 45. Can get you higher with that triple-double upside. So I do really like him. I think that's my core for right now is Maladin, Randall, and Halliburton. It's kind of chalky with Maladin and Halliburton, but I do like that. It's a good core to build around. You can definitely get 1 or 2 more studs in here, or go with a more balanced approach. Get some guys in the 6 to 7 to 8K range. So that's going to do it for me today, guys. And I just want to say, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.